shit, dick, suck, fucking stories you keep telling.
Okay, so what
Spiraling.
needs to happen is the slates need to be cleaned. Like taking a position, flat Earth, globe Earth, is pointless. It's an objective inquiry. No one knows what Earth is. That's the intellectual.
That's ridiculous.
That's the intellectually honest position
No,
to
it's
reach.
completely
No, it's not.
intellectually dishonest. Entirely intellectually dishonest.
What's
in
Earth
every way.
then, Jim?
It's a
What's
globe.
Earth, Jim?
It's a globe. This is evident.
It's a
It's
globe.
ridiculous to say we can't know it. It's a mountains
Oh,
of
boy.
evidence.
No one
Measurements
knows
of
what
it.
Earth is.
Yes,
That's
we
why
do.
there's a question.
Yes, we
That's
do.
why there's a question.
No,
No
there's a
one knows what
question.
Earth is.
There's a question because people get some sort of emotional kickback from believing that they know some stuff, that they know there's a big lie going on that nobody else knows about.
No,
That's
no
why-
one knows what the
That's
Earth
why
is,
there's a
Jim.
question, because people enjoy believing they're special.
No one knows what the Earth is, Jim.
No.
That's the
No.
intellectually
We do.
It's not
honest
intellectually honest.
place to reach.
It isn't.
No, I thought
It's completely
I thought-
intellectually
So-
dishonest because it ignores all of the evidence. It has to.
All Earth assumes to know. It doesn't. Flat Earth assumes to know. It doesn't. It's an
Physics
objective
works, man.
inquiry.
Physics works.
Come on.
There is gravity. Get over
Good
it.
question, Mel. I thought Earth was observably and measurably flat. Isn't that what you guys say?
Who's
So-
you guys?
Yeah,
Well, Chemo's saying that all the time. I'm lumping him in with you, the flat earthers. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I lump you in with the flat earthers? Because you are a flat earther, aren't you?
I got
No.
you. I
Oh, you're
wouldn't say
not now. Right. Okay. Well, that's a change.
I never was a flat earther.
Oh, but you say it's flat. So
I don't
The
say it's
globe
flat
now.
either.
what
I don't
do you
say
think
it's
it is?
flat.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you're even dumber than the flat earthers. Gotcha. Once again, I'd like
So-
to apologize
so
on behalf of all
admitting-
Australian people like Mel.
Admitting I don't know makes me dumb.
Well, that would be a willful ignorance, mate, on your part. Honestly,
The only option
No, it's a
the only
huge problem,
option
Mel.
the only option I have is a spherical heliocentric model.
No, it's
Yeah,
called
I-
reality. You have that
I-
option, man.
I
You
re-
have the option.
Yes,
I
like
reject
what is reality.
I reject what's been presented.
Reject reality.
So
We
you
did.
reject reality and replace it with your own. Gotcha. We've heard this before.
No, I don't replace it with anything. It's unknown.
Well, what are you bothering with it then for? Why are you here
How-
trying
how
to?
could-
You,
how would you
need,
know?
Like,
Because it's unknown.
what do you know? What do
Because
you know
it's
then?
unknown makes
It's
the
not unknown.
significance.
That's your
bullshit.
opinion.
No, that's
Because it's unknown is
Okay.
why it's significant.
Okay.
It's not
So
about
what-
being special.
Okay.
It's about every single person
Okay.
on Earth realizing
What
that.
do you know then?
That's
Mel?
the situation they're
What
born
do
into.
you know about the nature of reality?
I know I
What do you-
exist.
Okay, so what do you think we're standing on?
What we're standing on. What
do you think we're on?
What we are standing on is what we have been called, what has been called the Earth. What the Earth is unclear.
No, not at all. It's actually quite clear. We've got satellites in space that look at the thing and take pictures every 10 minutes.
Satellites? Talking
Yeah.
about satelloons.
Satellites. The Himalaya 8.
Satelloons, you mean?
Satellite. No, because the satelloons would get buffeted by the wind in the atmosphere, Chemo, and, the general air currents and things like that. Yeah, it's not in service yet. It goes in 2023, I think.
Or those
It's
blimps
up there.
things.
No blimps, because again, blimps get buffeted around by the wind and the
All
atmosphere.
right, look, and these satellites have been in use for decades and decades.
Mhm.
Future technology is not retroactively explaining how this has been done for 50 years or better.
How would a satellite move around a flat Earth?
It doesn't move.
That's
Well,
your
I mean,
problem.
Exactly. So it has to be a blimp.
Yeah, exactly.
A
And
blip.
you have no solution to that problem. Don't
I
act like
said-
that's a victory.
It has to be a drone or a
Chemo.
blip.
Chemo, as soon as you provide evidence for those claims, then we'll take you seriously. But
Oh,
you saying
BioDuel, welcome
just
back.
you saying not
Excellent,
on, not
excellent.
satellites, and then you replace it without evidence. That doesn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, get us a picture
Let
of
me
one of these
just
satelloons,
keep
Kamo.
everyone up to date with BioDuel here. This is the guy who says he can show mass attracted mass in a vacuum. Now, this was last year, bearing in mind the promises.
You've been showing that before.
The promises this guy gave, I was hopeful, I was positive. Some weeks
Listen,
later,
Chemo, we
some
can go out
months
to dinner
later.
and a movie if you want.
Oh,
If
and
you
he just
really want
overtalks
to.
me.
You can
Doesn't
go
let
out
me
on the
finish.
dinner.
Doesn't let
I'm
me
totally
explain
down
what
for
he
that.
said. I only say one or two words about
Here,
your claim.
I'll give it to you. I'm
Your
going
claim.
to do the
Just
Cavendish in a
overtalk me.
vacuum, and it's going to be on video. And then you're
Panic
complaining that it's
ensues.
taken a while because it's difficult.
Panic ensues because you made the wild claim. You see, that's why flat earthers are careful in what we say. We're not like you, just say, "Oh yeah, I
What,
can
like
show my
percentage claiming stolen valor? Yeah.
BioDuel's a star on Miggy's numpty clips that QE does.
Wow.
Yeah. Did he include me calling out QE for bad sources?
Yeah, derail. Change the subject. You said you could prove gravity, mass attracting mass in a vacuum.
Look who's talking about changing the subject.
Hey, wait, that was Jeremy. Are you chastising Jeremy? Get it straight, Chemo.
Yeah, Jeremy. Let's stick to the topic here. This guy.
My bad.
This is a guy here who promised us the world because if he gives us gravity, he gives us the world. Yes, if you give us gravity, you give us the world, right? The globe, the world,
I've given
all
you
of
gravity,
it.
but you moved the goalposts.
Where is it then? Have you done it yet?
Exactly. The experiment? No, not yet. No, I'm still planning on doing that.
No, of course you won't do it. It's not going to be done. I told you not to waste
it's not
your
that
time.
I won't do it.
Pardon?
It does
Sorry.
cost money, Chemo.
Pardon? Sorry.
I'm just a regular person in the middle
That
class
makes
system
wild
trying to
claims
get by.
about science
So it's
that
not
doesn't
I
know
can
what he's
do all these
talking about.
experiments.
You just keep over talking me, BioDuel.
Because you're just loading a bunch of shit, and I don't want a bunch of shit in everyone's ears. That's all.
Can't be patient and wait till what's said is said.
Well, because you repeat the same things every 10 seconds.
That's erratic. Didn't your parents teach you to have manners?
Yes, for people that deserve them. Yes.
That's what they taught you, yeah?
Yes. If you
let's not get
yeah,
into families. But the point is, you promised me the world. The flat earth is the world. And we're still waiting for that experiment.
By the way, Kimo, I don't think you're in any position to call anyone out for not doing it fast enough.
I have a win.
Because you've been Kimo, you've been asking for this experiment for ages and ages.
Exactly, Laurie.
So we are here, and it's the time to do experiments, and then you don't do anything for yourself.
See,
So if you're gonna call anyone out, then at least try to do something for yourself, Kimo. Don't just call people out while you're doing nothing, and we know all that you're never gonna do anything.
I've got a wonderful.
It's intellectually dishonest.
It does raise the question, Chemo, why don't you do the Cavendish in vacuum yourself? Because you know, as well as everybody else does, that you're not going to accept anything that we give you. So really, anything else is a waste of time. And you need to do this experiment, Chemo.
No. Bio will be the first person on the flat Earth to perform Cavendish that we can observe. Remember, the key word is we can observe, not someone writing about it.
The same problem. No. You're not eliminating the problem, Chemo. You will not accept it.
Yes, it will. Look, I've already stipulated with Bio, we cannot change the rules with this method. This is the beauty of this science. Now, bear in mind, I've given the predicted cause. Now, if he shows that the predicted cause is not the effect, well, what can I say? Fairies? Of course I can't just say fairies, because that cannot be manipulated.
You will.
No, we can't. That it never happened. Never ever happened, because it's not a variable. Like you guys say, an unknown variable. We don't do science like that. The science that we deal with are the ones that we know of, that we can manipulate with, and show the cause to the effect.
You say fairies all the time. That's basically all you ever say.
Sorry, say again. Say again, sorry.
Yeah, I can dismantle that Himawari 8 if anyone wants to hear that.
If you negate Himawari 8, then the Earth is a globe.
No, we don't want you to do that. Thanks, Crit. No, we don't need any of your crap. We're good.
How does it negate?
No, we're good. No, you can stop now. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't need to interrupt, dude. I got you the first time.
Oh, I think I do.
How does the Himawari 8 negation prove the globe?
Your rules, Crit.
Also, is my rules now?
That's what you've been playing by, yes.
Hold on, where are we now? What did Veach say?
This is perfect.
I missed something here. Veach said something. I was slightly distracted.
I think.
It said you say
Veach say
fairies all
something?
the
I don't
time.
think he did.
Chemo.
Oh, Veach said it's a waste of time. Yeah. No, look, Bio, you can change everything with this because you.
No, I can't. What I would be doing is reaffirming what we already know. What we've already provided you, I would be reaffirming that. That's all it is. It's nothing new. It's nothing spectacular. It's something that's already been done many, many times, and all it is reaffirming.
That's exciting.
It's not new, Kimo.
That's exciting to know because, like I said, we have never observed this mass attracting mass in a vacuum. You're saying it has.
Always we.
You're saying it has. You're saying it's been done. Been there, done that. Wore the T-shirt. That's good to know. That means.
I'm sure.
That means that you should be providing the evidence of this in no time at all. But this was last year, Bio. Last year.
I have provided the evidence.
I was actually just about to say, Chemo, I'm pretty sure I've provided you the video of a Cavendish experiment in a vacuum before, at least twice. At least. Might be more. And more people probably have given you the same video over and over again. Have you watched that yet?
He's moved some goalposts within some videos.
That's just, yeah, Chemo's got his goalposts on permanent wheels. It's on a rail.
Right. And the whole thing with the Cavendish in a vacuum, for me, I would love to do it just for the fact that I'd be doing it and witnessing it with my eyes in person.
Exactly. That's
awesome.
exactly what we're talking
I would just
about.
be sharing it with everyone else.
Yep.
That's all.
But then Chemo wouldn't, believe you because he wasn't there. Maybe you guys should go on that date.
We should also be Chemo. We should also be careful of the electrostatics in the Cavendish, the magnetism effects. Lots of variables.
Temperature. How are you gonna eliminate temperature? Like you're gonna have some temperature, 0, negative, positive. You're always gonna have temperature, so you cannot do this.
You should probably control the temperature too. Good call.
There you go.
Good call. You should control it.
I would love to explain it. There's concerns being brought up, and I would love to explain it. You don't need to eliminate those variables. You need to eliminate the deviation of those variables. Just like air pressure, you can have air pressure, but you don't have deviation, and you're fine. That's all.
You should control the temperature. Maybe put this get rid of the electrostatic somehow. Magnetism. The Earth's magnetic field. You're gonna have to control that somehow.
So you claim.
So, according to Jeremy, he wants a $500 million facility in order to do this one experiment from the sound of it.
Well, whatever it takes, guys.
Jeremy, do you know what the Earth is?
Standard deviation. One standard deviation.
Jeremy, do you know what the Earth is?
Yes, it's flat, Merle. Clearly.
But do you know what the Earth is?
The land that we walk upon.
Do you actually know what Earth is? Yes or no?
The Earth is a flat plane, Merle. It's a flat and stationary plane.
Looking for a specific answer, then go ahead, Merle.
I know that no one knows what the Earth is. I just wonder why people haven't realised that.
Bullshit. No, that's your delusion.
Who knows what the Earth is?
That is a delusion, Mel.
I know
In totality, no one knows except God.
Bullshit.
I know what it is.
So what is it?
Absolute bullshit.
What is it?
Can we not know?
It's an oblate spheroid with a radius of it's about 25,000 kilometers around from one point to the other, nearly, just under.
Based on the equipment that we use day to day, and based on the measurements over long distances, the Earth is a curving sphere, roughly.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, Merle, you made a positive claim that no one knows. What is your evidence that you would use, or what kind of logic can you give behind your claim that no one knows?
Being here nearly 6 years, listening to the debates, listening to this room, listening to anybody I've spoken to, like they'll say a flat plane, a stationary plane, then you'll go a flat what? Like what is it? And that's where people's cognitive dissonance kicks in, and then they don't want to admit that they don't know, but that's the liberating aspect of it right there, that you don't know. That's why you're here.
No, it's actually fun to learn.
Shit.
So when
I don't think you can draw conclusively from that no one actually knows, because that's actually explainable by other things.
Here in this server, the military might know. They might have a greater awareness of what we do.
Even if you say that no one on this server knows, that's based on your...
Yeah, well, they're the ones who've explored the Earth, right?
That's based on your personal opinion.
Like the civilians of
nobody would come forward to tell you the fucking shit.
And like no
here.
civilians.
You think they just keep that secret, huh?
Not to the extent that even if you've explored the Earth, you don't know what the Earth is.
So you claim, but Merle, what would it take? What kind of evidence would it take to determine the shape of the Earth, or even what kind of measurements would negate a particular shape to you? What would you accept?
The only way you're ever going to know what the Earth is to explore it.
What if we
have explored it?
What if we can get X amount of distance away from
beyond
the Earth and look at it?
beyond the the vicinity?
No, I don't know. Beyond what?
Beyond the world map.
Beyond the world map.
You're invoking that there's more than the world map provides. How would you know?
Well, how would you know unless you explore it?
We've explored it, man. What the fuck?
Did you explore it? Did you explore it?
The stars in the sky conform to what the sphere Earth predicts and shows, and I have been to both hemispheres and witnessed that particular observation, and it holds up to a sphere Earth, and it disproves a flat Earth. Is that good enough, or do we need more?
Okay, I'm looking at a clock. And the seconds are ticking on it. You know, it's got
the big end is for
and I predict,
small end is for hours.
As Mumblestone cuts me off, I predict that.
Dipshit.
All right, never mind. If he's gonna talk all through me and no mods are gonna do anything, that's fine.
Well, it was a silly thought, but
it's okay. It's just I could ask any one of you, like BioJewel. I've been thinking this for a while. Like BioJewel doesn't know what the Earth is. He'll say he does,
Yes,
but he
I do
doesn't.
know what the Earth is based on a number of evidences. I don't make a false claim based on nothing. Well, I don't make a claim based on no evidences. I make a claim based on a number of evidence that negate one side and support the other without issue.
So what's the
still
Earth?
hearing.
As I
Earth
told
is-
you, it's roughly a sphere. We can say it's a sphere, but we know it's not perfectly a sphere. But it is a sphere, not flat.
An oblate spheroid, yes.
Yep.
And you think that saying two words oblate spheroid is an answer of you human being understanding what this reality you exist in is.
What's your problem with that?
Correct. Because
What
we've
the Earth
assigned.
is, then you'll know how it came to be.
Yes.
We're taking pictures of the fucking thing.
Percentage.
How did it come to be?
Right.
That's
I
completely-
can hear
it's a
you from
completely
your
different
voice that
question.
you're laughing
You
and
understand
you're
what the Earth
trolling.
is. That entails how it was formed.
No. That's false. Because I can know what a number of things are, but I don't know how things are made.
Give us an example of something where you know everything about. You understand what it is perfectly, and yet you don't know where it came from.
The equipment that I work on, particular X-ray machines, I can replace every part. I can troubleshoot the entire thing. I can manipulate it. I can play with the software. But I have no idea where the software was created. I have no idea where the hardware is created. I have no idea where these things are fixed. I have no idea about these particular things.
Hold up. So you
but
know
I can
every
operate and manipulate it.
It has a production label, but you have no clue what the fucking production label says, or the manufacturer label says.
Right.
Components inside a machine, are they always...
Yeah.
So you don't know enough about your machine if you can't even read the
Components in machines aren't labeled, you fucking idiot. How often do you go into a machine and find every little fucking thing in there labeled? How fucking dumb are you?
Like our lead curtains?
Some of them even have the factory name.
like our lead curtains to prevent the radiation from coming out.
So again, try again. Something where you know everything
I would love to finish. The lead curtains, for example, do not have a barcode on it. They do not have a manufacturing label. We get it shipped in a box. We put it together, and there is no discernible company marker on it. Nothing.
There was a factory that manufactured it, right?
I would assume so. I would assume that these lead curtains don't come out of thin air or are naturally processed. So I would make that assumption, but I have no idea where or who does it.
You know exactly which factory it was, but you know where it came from. You know how it was fashioned. You know that
I have no idea any of that.
Manufactured by man. You know its origin.
I know it's manufactured by man. Yes.
Perfect. Now give us something where you don't know anything about its origin, and you know exactly. You can understand exactly what it is. Come on, one thing where you understand everything about it, except you have no idea where it came from.
A lead curtain, as I've just given the example of.
You still know that was manufactured if it was a curtain, right? Come on.
I would make that assumption, because I don't know 100%, but I would assume because I don't experience lead curtains in the wild naturally forming. I don't experience any of these things, and I put it in order. I put it in order, and then humans ship it to me. So it's fair to say. It would be a safe assumption to say that humans created it, but there's no discernible label on it for me to know where it came from or who manufactured it.
That's someone's hamster running, trying to come up with an answer.
No, that's a fair point. It's called common sense. It's something that you seem to
common
lack.
sense. If you know everything about something, you'll know also how it came to be.
No, that's common
No,
sense.
you don't have to know the origin of something to know how something operates.
Pocantage, I've just posted up a list of places you can get them from. So that's a good start. Start there.
Exactly, places
I mean, if he really wanted to, he could have looked up this. Obviously, it's not information that he needs to know, is it? But there's a whole list of the places that you can buy lead curtains from. Go ahead.
You basically have no ability.
Which had them supplied by manufacturers that made them, right? We know how they came to be. They were manufactured.
You have no ability to reason.
Now,
you have no ability to reason.
We don't know how it came to be, but we know everything about it.
You have no ability to reason, about the way in which you reason. You're completely opaque to yourself about how your brain works, and this is why you think.
Hey, Beach, if you're smarter than this dude, you should be able to.
And this is why. And this is.
Can you do it, Beach?
This is why you think.
Challenge to any of the workers in this room.
Can I just finish the
point?
point?
Understand the globe so well. Tell us how.
Finish the point? Or are you gonna Fundy mute me, as you call it? So this is why you live in this world where everything. Oh my God, are you done? Like, how scared can you be, dude? It's just one sentence.
I'm not scared. Go ahead, finish ad homing.
If you're not scared, then why are you still talking?
He's done. Go ahead.
It's the only way you have to keep me from finishing, right? So if you weren't scared of the conclusion, you'd just shut up and listen. Good. So the point is that this is why you live in a world where you think that everything is absolute, why you believe there's such a thing as definitive proof, why you exist and demand and call on things that are absolute. And you even claim yourself, you know things to be absolute. When the truth is, nothing you say that you know is absolute. It's pure speculation. And none of the things that you want to be definitive need to be definitive.
It seems to be a false equivocation where we can't know the shape of something because we don't know the origin of which it was created. I think that's very, very misleading and false.
About me, because I never said that. Like, I've always said, definitive evidence is beyond a reasonable doubt. So that would be absolute for me. If it's beyond a reasonable doubt, then it would be absolute in that case. And for you saying it's about the shape, we're not talking about the shape. We're talking about knowing the Earth for what it is, understanding it.
Knowing the Earth what? Shape?
Understanding what the Earth is in totality.
Like the shape?
Everything about it.
Sure, we can go to everything. But right now, are we talking about the shape or not?
It was above the shape. It was in general. Do you know what the Earth is?
We're talking about the shape. Okay.
You said yes. I know what it is.
Yes, I know that it's a
sphere. In totality, then you know how it came to be. Just like with everything else. If you know what it is completely, if you understand it completely, then you know how it came to be.
We're talking about the shape here, percentage.
That from it.
Percentage. We're talking about the shape here.
No, we're not talking about the shape. We're talking about what the Earth is in totality. Do you understand the Earth?
No, if you want to go to that subject of a totality of what the Earth is, that's fine. But what we're talking about is the shape, and that's what I specified, right? We talked about the shape, and I said a sphere, not flat. And then you wanted to bring up the origin of the Earth.
What shape the Earth is. He asked, do you know what the Earth is? And you said, yeah, it's an oblate spheroid or whatever bullshit. You gave the shape. That was
So we
your
have a description of a shape. Yes. So what's the problem?
That was your miscalculation. He didn't ask you what shape it was. Next time, understand the question better.
Ooh, so we're in a server that's debating the shape of the Earth, and then he asked what the...
Completely understand it, then how did it came to be? Try to understand the context. Use your brain. Rub two brain cells
He
together.
didn't say that, though. He didn't say that. You're making that part up.
Yeah, again,
some of us are no longer willing to delude ourselves that we know what the Earth is. It's there to be discovered. The only way to discover what it is by exploring it.
We already have. We've done that.
When did you do that? When did you confirm everything you've been told since you were a little baby? Stone?
Why would you need to confirm everything you've been told? That's absurd. You can
About
you can
the Earth. About the Earth.
Why? Why?
What do you want me to
Because you don't know what it is. You think you know what it is. You assume to know what it is, but you may die not knowing what it is. And that's intellectual honesty.
Yeah, so that's
You don't speak for Australia. You speak for yourself.
I just did.
You speak for yourself.
I just apologise on behalf of all Australians for you and people like Mitchell.
All of you
I'm
only
speaking
speak
on behalf
for
of the
yourself.
country. I'm speaking on behalf of the country,
Merle.
excluding you.
No, you only
Merle.
speak for yourself.
Merle, I'll put it this way.
Everyone speaks for themselves. So what?
I'll put it this way, Merle. When all of the claimed truths about the shape of the Earth are explained, and I have witnessed and observed and explored most of it, a lot of it, and it's consistent with no deviation and totally rejects another claim, there's only one direction that I can go. Even if I don't have the totality of all the evidence myself, everything that I have experienced does stay consistent with the globe claim. So there's no reason for me to deviate away from that.
But can you understand that that's not good enough for some people?
Yes,
Okay.
I can understand that some people require more, and I understand people move goalposts, and I understand that people reject particular evidence. I understand that part, but that's their problem, not mine.
Merle, do you have plans to explore the Earth? Are you going to find out what it is?
Yeah, there's definite, and it's almost like you wonder what would happen like when people start to do that. Will there be a curiosity? Like, say if there's findings, well, like, do the people who explore it and find out more share their findings? Why should they?
Well, you do know that if you look around the world, ostensibly people have done this and shared their findings, right? Now, you, I guess, reject those findings or reject the claims, so you'll have to do it and see for yourself. But people have done exactly what you're saying. En masse, lots and lots of people have explored the world.
Don't you think it's strange that human beings don't have freedom of their own?
Freedom of their own what?
What the fuck does that mean? What? That's
freedom of their
ridiculous.
own what? I couldn't. Hey, hold
The,
on.
the whole
Freedom of their own.
the whole Earth is in lockdown at the moment,
Because of the
That's not
pandemic.
true.
and when you
people
really
No,
when you
people-
really look at
no,
it,
no,
humans
people-
don't have
the
freedom
whole
of
Earth people are still traveling. No, that's wrong.
humans don't have freedom of humans don't have freedom of movement on their own Earth.
Yes, they do. So here's a small
We
example.
do.
Hold on.
Could you right now travel
He's
internationally?
trying to say first, Biodu. Can you just hold on for a second?
I mean, he did. Did he not?
He didn't. He didn't. So, Merle, what do you mean by that freedom of movement? Can you just be very clear about what you're trying to say?
Freedom. It's like if you were in your own backyard, you have the freedom to explore your own backyard, not your next door neighbors, right? There's a division between the fence. So if you just extend to the Earth at large, we're allowed to move in designated areas.
Like countries.
Yeah, and it just seems that we don't really have freedom. We all kind of, out of respect for each other, respect boundaries and borders. And
I gotcha. You're talking about
Right?
like the visa system. You're talking about like immigration and things like that. We have controls over where we can go that way.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Okay, bye, Billy. I understand now. You can go.
Thanks, Feach. Scott.
Moral, have we had any luck maybe getting a hold of Prem Rawat and seeing what he can, what light he can shed on this?
Who's Prem
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you find out?
I know who it is.
Well, this is where it starts to get tricky because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does get tricky. I mean, there's people who know that they're flying over a plane.
They're flying over a plane.
Yeah, a plane flies over a plane.
An airplane.
An
Oh,
airplane.
that's what you're talking. Oh, because an air. Oh.
So
like a boat.
It takes off.
Over a boat.
It takes off.
Over a ship.
It levels out. It maintains its altitude, and then it touches down.
Right, and Prem Rawat, he flies a lot, right?
Yeah, he's flown all around, like pretty much the entire thing.
All right, when did we contact him?
Well, contact's already been made.
Already being made. I like that. So what does that mean in terms of a time?
What are you asking me?
When did you contact Prem Rawat? Or it hasn't happened yet. That's okay. Just say that's the case.
Well, I wasn't able to get to him. He's actually hard to contact. For whatever reason, I don't know. He could be an Indian Freemason for all I know. I don't know why he's so hard to contact.
I see.
But I'm letting you guys know, no bones about it. This guy has fucking access to this place. He can go anywhere the fuck he likes.
Have you been in contact with someone who has been able to be in contact with Prem?
Yes.
Are you able to reveal that source, or do we need to maintain anonymity?
Anonymity is probably the best way to go at this stage because it's a delicate situation.
Makes sense.
Okay, what did anonymity divulge to you from Prem?
That there is that what's basically going on is there are people that know that the Earth is in question by this server and however many other people who are clicking on, because the algorithm can see what everybody's looking at on the internet. So that is being assessed.
Oh yeah.
Every search, every person has, unless you have a VPN or whatever, is monitored. If you say something on your phone, your ads change.
You mean like a search term result thing?
If I could real quickly,
your algorithm. Your algorithm.
If Prem, if you're listening right now, we all love you. We all love you, long-time fans. Go ahead, Mo.
It's just there are people aware that this is a question and that people are getting curious about what's really going on down here. I mean, that's always been my position, always.
I agree with you that this knowledge that the Earth is in question, to me, suggests that there's strong reason to believe the Earth is not flat, but level per se, because we don't know. So it's level, and I think I'm feeling you on that. Did I get that right?
Well, I know. Let me say it to you directly as a person. All trolling aside, whatever's happened in this server, I know you are an intelligent person, and I know after all this time, you must have questions. You must have had a private moment where you're like, shit, this has been going on a long time. Nearly, 6 years? And nobody's brought anything conclusive or definitive to put the whole debate, the whole question to bed. Like, it's just like everyone goes home, shakes hands. What's happening then?
You deserve a recipe. I'll DM one to you as soon as I can remember to do that. And I open the floor to everyone to ask their questions of Merle about Perimeter Watt. Please try to be respectful.
This curve didn't answer that last one.
And thank you for giving me the time, basically uninterrupted with Merle, to have that couple minutes. I really appreciate it.
I got a question for Merle. Hypothetically, let's say if you did prove it to yourself one way or the other, would you then force other people to comply with top-down federal spending, or would you present your proof with logic, reason, or science?
The second half falls. I don't think it's fair to force this on anybody, but it seems the ones who are ready to move, i.e., they have access to money, sailing equipment, aircraft, they should not be restricted. And at this stage of the game, there's people who aren't willing to die without this there's an opportunity's presented itself, and that's that there's an Earth with unknown origin, just an unknown dimension, and there's an opportunity here to discover what it really is. And for people just to sit back on their laurels and go, well, I don't really care, or what difference does it make? That's sort of not good enough anymore. And potentially it's going to help us psychologically and emotionally too, because if there is more, that's going to be a massive discovery for a start. And then if we see that, it's contained and there is a dome and la la la, that's going to be another. So, whatever, it's like an adjustment, isn't it?
We do have a finite size and dimension to the Earth. We actually do know what that is.
Well, I think you can say that, but what is wrong with getting an 100% confirmation that it all checks out?
That.
I mean, this is. I know there's plenty of people who feel they've got it, and that their questions have been satisfied. You know what I mean? It's
if you want to go,
doesn't have to be a battle.
More power to you, honestly. Like, there's literally no reason why you shouldn't go do that if that's what you want to do. It's your right. It's your, of course, people do it. So why not you be one of them?
I'd love to be part of that.
Why don't you?
It's just lack of resources, funds, the situation I'm in, taking care of my mum. There's a lot of reasons.
But you can't afford. What's the cost of a balloon nowadays that you could attach a little camera to or attach your phone to? And it's not that expensive. I think Mr. Sensible did it for about $300.
Oh, different people have different means, Cypher. Come on.
True.
I hear what you're saying, though.
I mean, that doesn't take anything.
Well, I buy coffee at Starbucks, and people tell me that that's insane.
What does that even prove, though? On a flat Earth, we would expect to see the horizon start curving as you go up. So what? What's your little bullshit balloon gonna do?
Demosthenes did it with 2 points. If you do it with 3, that actually proves the globe, and anybody can do that. You get 3 people and prove that 100%.
3 shadows proves the globe.
And I don't mean any disrespect. I'm going to mute myself because I've been up all night and I've really enjoyed. I got invited back into the room yesterday, and I do appreciate that. I just want to say just in regard to the Mark Sargents and people like that, like the Dome world, it's just a replacement. It's like it still hasn't been confirmed, and there aren't many of us, but a few of us just feel that there's potentially a huge discovery here to be made, and we just wish some people would get on board with that. That's all.
And we'd just like you to provide some positive evidence of flat Earth. Any.
And
Mel, I've got to
I
ask,
respect that too.
Mel, you can see water is flat, horizontal. Do you think another place somewhere else will be curving or something?
No.
Right, so the surface is flat. You want to know what's underneath, what's inside. Well, of course, no one knows that, right?
Right. And it potentially extends a lot further than what we've been told and shown. There could be extraterrestrials, which basically means extra land.
But then you've got to think, is there another sun, another moon? If there's more land, is it going to be in just darkness? What's your idea? You think the sun goes off there, then comes back here? What are you thinking?
I think if some of us were able to get to the North Pole, as far north as we can go, we could really start to... All these years of these questions, we could be there and we could film it and we could in real time talk to each other.
That's
and
not
really
going to
put
happen,
this...
Mel, until we show these globers that they're lying, deluded, or mistaken. Okay? Because we need the numbers. You need the numbers. I can't just go. You can't just go. Who's making that scraping noise? What's going on?
Oh, thank you for bringing it up finally, Chemo. Hey, Scott, your mic's hot. Do you realize?
Beach, what are you doing?
The lying part, Z.
Can you hear us, Beach?
Beach!
Well, I'm going to mute him. Can you hear us? 3, 2... Can't hear you, Beach. You're scratching. You're just going... That's it. We don't know what you're saying at all. Listen to the live stream and check yourself.
Can I ask Jeremy a quick question?
Hold on. Is Veach trying to speak or is he not? Is he hot micing or what? What's the deal?
He is
Sounded
hot
like
micing, Kimo.
It sounded like he was getting food, or it sounded like he was doing something, getting a bag or something. Delivery mate.
Just mess. Well, you can mute yourself anyway, Veach. You just booked in. Not that we don't mind, but I'm just saying fix your mic and carry on there. Or was I speaking? Who was speaking? Chronic wanted to say.
What's up, Chronic? What's up, Cryptic Chronic?
I had a question about this. I'm curious your prepared response, because I like you have responses, and rebuttals prepared.
It's all off the top, bro. It's all off the top.
So there's this Inspiration 4 mission later this year in November, and it's the first ever civilian.
Hold on, somebody's got some crazy.
Yeah,
echo
Chemo.
going on.
Chemo, you're echoing pretty bad.
What am I doing?
You got an echo.
Chemo, mute your.
Excuse me, sorry. So Jeremy, when these 4 civilians who have they're not secret psyops, they have no connection to NASA, no government shield, nothing like that. They're just civilians who were chosen, the first 4 ever, to orbit the Earth. And when they come back and they get globe, what's the flat Earth response that you've prepared?
So are they going to do orbits?
Chose them? First question: who chose them?
Wait, can Jeremy address my question?
No, SE supersedes Jeremy.
This isn't Einstein-Newton shit, bro.
Sorry, Jeremy, bro.
No, it's fine. Are they gonna go up and just skirt the skirt the top of the atmosphere and then come right back down, or are they gonna do some orbits and stuff?
No, they're going to do several orbits. I think it's a few days, actually. 3 or 4
that's
days.
good.
Yeah. They're going to come back. They're going to get interviewed, I'm sure. You know, they're going to be celebrities at that point. But they were chosen as civilians. And they're going to be interviewed and asked about, the shape.
Is that any better now? Is that echoing?
It seems fine, Kimo.
Ah, okay.
Inappropriate, but better quality.
Excellent.
Okay, so who are these people?
They are 4 American civilians.
They're gonna just pick random people?
Basically.
Actually,
How do I get?
There's
How do I get my
there's
name in
4.
the drawing? How do I get my name in the drawing?
Oh, I know you're probably working and can't check the chat, but I put a link in there. I'll DM it. I'll DM it to you so you can have it for later. Yeah, you can apply definitely. Any flat earther can. Yep.
Everyone's applying to this thing.
Literally anyone can.
And
yeah.
what are they gonna do? Like pick names out of a hat?
So the different participants, and this goes to what SE.
Hold on a second.
Hold on. SE was trying to.
Yeah, we're still on how they're
there.
getting them. We're still on how they're getting them. Are they gonna pick names out of a hat?
Yeah,
or...
I'm literally explaining it right now to you.
Okay.
Yes. So the first person has already been chosen. Jared Isaacman. Sorry, excuse me. God. The second person is going to be chosen from a list of St. Jude's Children's Hospital donors. There's no minimum. So literally any civilian can donate $1 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. $1, 50 cents, doesn't matter. You don't need to be a billionaire Jesuit, shill to get chosen, and you'll be considered.
Go to space. Chronic.
The next is a 100% raffle. 100% random raffle is for the third person. And I forget what
they're gonna pick random people. Okay, they're gonna pick random people.
Basically, sure.
Person so far.
Basically, sure. Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, Jeremy, is he asking is to go to space?
Kimo, you flipped out. What'd you say?
Is this to go to space? Is it?
Yeah, and do some orbits.
Orbit the Earth. Yeah.
Do some
we can go. When can we go? I'll do it.
Well, they're only going to pick 4 people.
Probably
out of all the people in America, or what is this, North America?
Yeah. I think this first civilian mission is for American citizens. Sorry, Kimo.
So if I enter,
in the future.
If I enter, I got a 1 in 400 million shot of going. Have a good night. I got a 1 in 400 million shot.
Yeah,
100 million, whatever.
Jeremy.
That's a better shot than 0 in infinite, is it not?
All right, when is this happening?
November 2021.
This year, people are going to fly around.
Is it possible? Is it possible for Epi Jedi to get his American citizenship by that time?
It takes a long time curved. I don't know.
Yo, so how was the 4th person selected?
Another donor to something.
So this is a big scam to get us to donate money to stuff where they keep half of the money for administration fees and all that.
Oh no! Two of the you could probably be considered for all 3 of the remaining slots. The 2 easiest, I think, from what I've read, I don't know all the details, but the 2 easiest would be make a $2 donation to St. Jude's and submit your name into this 100% random raffle. There you go.
So what are the stipulations? Can they film the entire thing, document it?
I don't know the gory details, Kimo. You can feel free to. There's been a ton of links in the chat. Feel free to read any of them.
Last time,
how would we know? How would we know if they're going up and just doing circles around a flat Earth, or they're actually doing orbits?
Exactly.
Document it, Jeremy. They're going to document it.
So I was.
Yeah, no, but how do you differentiate? The question is, how do you differentiate between going up and doing circles over flat Earth or orbits around the globe.
So you can't tell if
you're
you can't tell if you're going around an object or not.
Jeremy, you're gonna go up. You're gonna see the ball, obviously both sides, like the curvature, and then you're just gonna go around it. Obviously, you won't see a flat. You won't see a flat plane, right?
Going up.
Is it me breaking?
You're breaking
or
up, Jeremy.
No,
No,
as you go up,
Jeremy's
as you
breaking
go
up.
up on the flat Earth, Chemo, we expected this to look a little curved. Chemo, we expect to see it curving on a flat Earth.
Oh
The
boy,
horizon
I've
curve
pitted
left
the
to
flat
right.
earthers against each other.
No,
God
they're
dang it.
going
All
into
I wanted
space.
was your
How high?
They're going into
How
space,
How high
Jeremy.
they going?
They're going into space. That means we can see the curve from
How
both.
high?
Chemo, you're not answering the question. How high?
Space. How high is space?
How high is this particular rocket that you're talking about going?
I don't know. He's saying space, Chronic.
Chronic, how high?
Has to be at least 60 miles.
Low Earth.
Qualified.
How high? Height?
I'm reading now. Whatever low Earth orbit is.
So
That's
you don't even know.
1,000 something miles.
Okay, thanks, Essie. Yeah, 1,000 miles. Yeah.
They're going to be 1,000 miles up.
miles.
Well, wait, how many orbits?
Back to my point, Jeremy.
Hold on, are they
I
going to
think
be
it's
1,000 miles or?
curved. I think it's
No.
several. It's 3. I think it's 3 days. Plus or minus. I mean, there's some
Why
wiggle
are we
room there,
moving
but
on? We don't even know the height yet.
Jeremy.
We 1,000 miles, Jeremy.
Jeremy, we haven't even moved on from my initial question that you refused to answer. What's going to be your prepared response when the civilians come back and get interviewed about the shape and they're like, "Yep, globe."
To answer that question, he wants to know how high. It is a valid question.
1,000 miles.
It's not funny.
He
It's
just
a
said
valid question.
He
so
just said
knock it
1,000
off
miles.
Girl laps.
Will
Yeah,
the person be able to?
I doubt we'll go all the way to 1,000 miles.
It's not
I'm
1,000 miles.
I'm going to get around 150, 200 miles is my guess. Let's
No, it's got to go higher than the
Sure.
ISS curve. It's got to go higher than the ISS to be space, right?
Why?
What do you mean
No.
why?
ISS is in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if the ISS is in space,
You got-
you've got to go higher.
You got to
than
go
that.
higher than 62 miles to be in space.
Derail
By the
from the point of
typical
my
definition.
original question.
I got to know how high they're going up.
They're going as high as an aeroplane, Chronic.
Jeremy,
Is it worth it?
Jeremy, civilians who have no connection to Jesuit NASA shill ownership, government, big gov, no connection.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Civilians.
How do you know that?
Mo,
We're trying to
how high?
approximate their field of view.
Mo,
We're
ask
trying
him
to
how
estimate
high.
how much of the Earth they can see to make any determinations about what it is that they're seeing and
Curved.
doing.
It's going to be
It's
high.
fair.
How
It's going to be
high?
high.
How high?
Curved. If it's high enough to orbit, they're going to be able to tell.
How? How high? If it's not higher than the ISS, how high?
Just see it.
Let's pretend
Seeing
they
the
go to
curve
the exact
lines.
same height of the ISS. Now what?
They're going to be
Seeing the
able to
curve
tell what
lines and
because
not
we
gonna
would
do it.
expect. They're going to be able to tell what because we would expect on a flat Earth.
This is what I
their-
love.
For their
I
horizon
love
to be
hearing.
curved.
Hold on, Jimmy.
We would expect.
Jimmy, why would height matter when you could do one full
Pyro.
revolution?
It matters because
Not-
you
it's
need
not-
to
Why
see
not-
the whole
Why
globe.
not do one full
That's why it matters.
resolution?
Ask me later, Chronic.
It's very
Ask
simple.
me later.
You have
Okay,
to be
I
able
will,
to
Jeremy.
know you're
I will,
orbiting a
Jeremy.
globe.
It's too crazy right now.
I know. It sounds
We
like
know
panic.
that already,
It's not,
SE.
it sounds like panic coming from
No one
F-
panicking.
FE.
Ain't no one panicking.
No one's
I'm just not gonna
panicking.
sit
We're
here
asking
and
There's
how
no
high.
panic. I mean, they're showing
not gonna sit here
they're,
and
sh-
scream
they're
and try to
showing
get
a
my words
planet.
out, so.
They're showing a
Esau-
planet in the astronauts like
You want
visor.
a flat earther, Mel?
Yeah,
But-
Vsauce said you had to get a certain distance away from Earth to see
I'm
the
not a
Earth.
flat earther,
To
but
take-
they're showing a planet in
I
the
know.
visor.
To take a page
No,
out of the,
just-
but just to
I
take a
didn't
page
decide
out of
why
the
would-
out of the crit
why would-
book. Sorry, let me
ahead.
take one quick page out of Crit's book. I love that it's now going to negate one major arguing point from you guys,
Which
that
is?
these are NASA shill gov owned Jesuit Illuminati
no one said that.
psyops
Straw man.
people.
Hey, hold on.
Who
Straw
they
man.
are.
Hold on. Can I jump in real quick? Because it was the crypt
It's a
playbook.
huge straw.
What
man.
I would like to see though is factor me out completely. You do it.
Well, the crit,
Well,
just
hold
saying
on,
the
hold
word
on, hold on.
negated was just
Yeah,
the
but
crit
just
playbook
so you
part.
know that the full crit playbook is to factor me out completely because if I come back and say it was flat, right? then I could get negated. And then I would have to, or if I said globe, and a flat earther negates me.
God,
And so
hope
I
that
would
makes
say,
sense. God, I hope they leave him up there.
okay, the full playbook would be to factor crit out completely, and you do it, but also you have to maintain trust. Because if you come back and be like, well, I went up to space, I found out crit was an idiot, I would be like, oh, you shot yourself in the foot, homie.
We already found out you're an
Crit
idiot.
can never be. Crit can never be.
we know
negated,
that.
by the way.
That's like given.
Okay, so Chronic.
So
Yeah,
now I know that
it's a
whatever
fact that
you
you're an
present,
idiot.
yeah,
Hold on, I'd
whatever
like
you
to
present.
clarify something real quick.
Okay,
So
What percentage? Why don't you apply, man? Anyone? Oh, you're not an American citizen.
Out of these 4 people,
Yeah.
3 of them are going to be considered from a pool and selected, and 1 is going to be random from a raffle. Correct?
Yeah. Guess what?
When you
Any
guys
flat
are done,
earther.
let me know.
Any flat earther can apply as well.
Or globe earther.
One of them will be
When you
truly
guys
random.
are done, let me know so I
Saying that's
get
not
some
going to rig
work out.
anything. One of them will be
Chronic-
random. The rest will be
Chronic, what's the bet? None of the
True.
flat earthers do apply for it. I'll
What's
bet
the bet? None of the
$10.
globe earthers do.
No, actually, I think no. I think several flat
Crit,
earthers might
I
apply.
will bet you $1 million.
Now, what
that
criteria are they using to
Globbers
select
will
to
apply.
consider?
You can read it. You can read about it, man.
Why won't you
I think
talk
that,
about it, Chronic?
I think that it would be compelling. I don't know if they would choose based on the argument of I'm a flat earther, I'm applying, I need to prove it, with my own eyes or something to
No,
go in
wouldn't
orbit.
tell
I
them
don't know
the
if that's
flat
compelling
earthers,
enough
no.
for.
Wouldn't tell them
compelling
that.
for
No.
them.
All right.
Oh,
so,
sure, okay.
So now that we know that we would expect to see
Undercover
the
flat
horizon.
earther.
Undercover,
Jesus
yes.
Christ, never
Yeah,
mind.
go ahead. We expect to see the horizon. You said something like you see a curve even if it's flat or something. You lost me there.
Yeah, we expect to see the horizon curving left to right on a flat Earth as you come up off the flat plane. So my question is, how do you differentiate if you're just flying in a circle above the flat plane that appears to be curving, or if you're actually doing an orbit around a sphere? How do you differentiate that?
If you think about that a little bit deeper, you'd understand how silly that is to ask.
Exactly, Jeremy. You're not thinking right, because if you're high enough, you're not listening.
Even Chemo said you're not thinking.
Because you're not getting it though. He's saying that you're going to go high enough to see both sides of the ball, so you'll be able to see curve that way, curve that way.
You can never see.
There is no distance for that, Chemo.
You can never see both sides, and
My God, Chemo. Withdraw from the conversation, Chemo. After that, come on.
So you're saying that satellites don't see either side of the ball?
Not both sides simultaneously.
No. I don't mean both
sides.
sides. I don't mean like that. I mean.
Well, then why'd you say both sides?
I don't mean like that.
This is what
I don't mean
the
both
top
sides.
and
Hold on,
bottom.
let me explain.
Chemo,
Hold on.
Chemo-
Hold on. I don't mean both. What I
Chemo
mean. So you're looking down, you're going to see curvature on one side, you'll see curvature on the other side. Not both sides of the globe, but you'll see both sides.
Are you asking?
Looking left and right. Hold on, Jeremy. Looking left and right, you'll see the Earth curving, then you'll know you're going around it.
Are you asking if
Very
we're going to be
strange
able
way
to see
to
the
word that,
Earth?
but I
Are
guess.
you asking if we're going to be able to see the Earth in its entirety in one?
No, not the entirety,
one whole-
Jeremy. Both sides of the curve. So what? So you look down, you see one side curving one way. You look to the right, you see one side curving the other way.
It's a
Yeah, but we
complete
expect
circle,
that's,
Chemo.
that's what we
Yeah,
expect
you'd be
to
able
see
to
on
see
a
the top
flat.
and bottom as well.
That's what we expect to see on a flat plane. If you look one way, it's going to appear to be curving. If you look the other way, it's going to appear to be curving.
No.
Anyway, it's a circle.
Jeremy, I have a question for you.
You're seeing in a circle as far as you can see all around.
Not that
you.
circle,
So,
Jeremy. It's
Jeremy, I have
left
a
to
question for
right
you.
curvature. You're gonna see the actual Earth. So what? Basically, you'll see Earth like tilted. You know, the clouds tilted one way and the clouds tilted the other way. Like this picture.
Here,
Look at this picture.
I posted a GIF. The GIF here will explain what I think you're looking at. I would want to see the boat on the other side.
Yes.
Upside down.
No.
Hey, Jeremy, keep this in mind. You do have to be far away to see all of the circle in your field of view at once.
No, we don't need to see all of the circle. We just need to see.
You're not going to see that in low Earth orbit, I don't think.
Oh.
We don't need to see
Hey,
that.
Jeremy, if you actually completed an orbit, does it really matter how high you are to see the curve? If you actually completed
I'm
an orbit?
asking you, how do you differentiate between an orbit around a spherical Earth
Because
and
Jeremy,
doing
you will
circles
see.
and doing circles?
Jeremy,
Use your brain.
Jeremy, listen. When you get high enough, you'll see like you're looking over a hill. You'll get so high, you'll be able to look down and see it going around. See?
Yeah, that's what we would expect to see on a flat Earth.
No.
Chemo, you may have not realized it, but Jeremy has become a very strange kind of flat earther that thinks the flat Earth looks like a globe.
No, you're not going to see a globe, Jeremy. You're going to see more land on a flat Earth. On a ball, you're not going to see more land, are you? You're going to see the Earth curve down one side and curve down the other side.
That's what, left to right curvature on the horizon. That's what we would expect to see on a flat Earth. Me and Brandon did an experiment, or it's past maybe not, just an observation, we'll call it. And
Jeremy, you never see left to right curvature, do you ever? But in this,
if you come up off a flat plane, I would expect to see left to right curvature.
Where?
Yeah.
Show me then. Show me where we see left to right curvature.
Me and Brandon did a little thing.
No, let me see where we see it
ago.
without a fisheye lens. Where do we see left to right curvature ever?
The Mage 2 sent a rectilinear lens up, and they got left to right curvature.
Yeah, that's the fisheye wide lens.
Then how do you know that's not because Earth is curved, Jeremy?
Yeah, you still get barrel distortion even a little bit with the rectilinear lens.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
I mean, there's a lot of issues with this.
No, again,
There's a lot of
explain to me,
issues with this.
Jeremy. Come
Chemo.
on, stop being silly now. Explain to me in any footage where we see left to right curvature, any height.
Chemo, there's a lot of things that can cause left to right curvature. One of them being the thing I just named about how you come up off a flat plane due to the 360 circle you'd be able to see, and if you turned your head all around, as you come up off of that, that would appear to curve. If you're looking through concave windows, that can make a curvature appear. Barrel distortion on a camera. There's a lot of things that can make it appear to curve.
I'm talking when you look with your opposite.
Yeah, but they're looking with your eyes through this glass of the craft.
When do you see
went
this?
up.
Oh, you mean
Did you
like
ever
the
see
window
the-
of whatever you're looking through, or the
Did
lens
you ever
of?
see the video? Did you ever see the video where Steve-O went up and he claims to have seen the curvature, and then they show him in a picture on the runway, and because you're looking through the glass of the plane, the straight lines on the runway appeared to curve.
No, that's silly. We're not talking
not.
like that, Jeremy. We're talking about the horizon. The horizon. When do you ever see the
I know, I'm
horizon?
telling you.
The great scientist,
I think
Steve
he's
O.
saying what we're saying. He's just saying it appears to curve, even though it's not.
I'm not telling you it's actually curving, Chemo. I'm just saying it appears to.
But I'm talking about actual curvature at what he's saying.
How do you know? How would you know?
What do you mean? How would you know? I've just said.
That's
you
what
would
I'm
see.
asking. How do you differentiate?
How would you know? How would you
Chemo,
know?
How do you
be able to
differentiate?
differentiate between the actual curvature versus apparent curvature due to lens or whatever?
Because, like I said, you would
the
see,
glass.
like what's being shown now. You would see one set of countries on the side, and you would see the other on the other side. Now, what Druss is showing is like zoomed in. You know, you can't see the other side, curving the other way, Jeremy. Now, in this thing that he's talking about, you would see the other side. Like how it's curving here to the left, you would see it curving like that way to the right. That's how you would know. Are you saying you wouldn't know, Jeremy, if you looking at a hill or a mountain? How do you know if you're going over what are you saying? I don't get what you're saying. If you get over a hill, you're saying you don't know if you're going over a hill or not.
The thing is, you can make a thing that's flat because if you turn your head all around, let's say you went in the middle of the ocean and you turn your head all around 360 degrees and barring any weather conditions, same weather conditions all around you, you'd be able to see the same distance in the full 360 degrees you turned around, right? You with me?
But explain to him why it looks like a circle, Jeremy.
Now that's a flat plane. You're on the water, it's all flat, right? But we're seeing in a
You
circle.
can't see forever. Can't see forever, Jeremy.
But we're seeing in a circle. So as you raise
Right,
up,
but you got to tell him why. He doesn't get why.
are you with me so far, Chemo?
Jeremy, the horizon never ever curves, ever. Unless it's a wide angle lens.
It's a straight flat line, Jeremy. Get that through your head. That circle
Chemo.
is a straight flat line, dude.
Until you raise up off it. It's a straight line until you raise up off it. And then it could appear curved.
But no, not according to the
Yes.
book of Chemo.
But I want to know where we ever see that. just the actual Earth.
We've mimicked this. We've demonstrated, Chemo. We've demonstrated this in reality. It happened.
Are you sure you didn't just demonstrate that Earth is curved, though?
No, we demonstrated that if you have a circle of sight around you and you come up off it, that circle appears to start curving. When you stop
You
looking
know
at
that
it,
that's not because it is curved.
I
Because
got
we made
the
it
higher
flat.
you go, the bigger that
This was
circle
very
becomes
controlled.
because
This was
the distance of your sight is so limited. You can't see forever. So the higher you go, the farther you can see because you can't see very far.
I don't know what.
I just flat smacked an 80-year-old dude in the
Jesus
Walmart.
Christ.
And, he said, he told me, his dad argued that the earth was flat till he died. I said, well, what year did your dad die? He said, 1965. So they were arguing about it back then, but he said his daddy died believing the earth was flat. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, David.
Well,
anyway,
your merit badge.
Jeremy, we can talk about it later. I got a meeting, but you have 9 months to prepare some good responses for when those civilians
don't
come back and
run
and
away, Chronic.
say it's a globe.
Run away.
He's
No, no,
been
no.
in here for a year, man, and gotten worse.
Well, I'm giving him a huge head start. 9
got-
months. 9
I
months
got a response already.
to prepare.
Words don't prove anything.
Yeah, I got a straight up response. They were probably going to be like super intoxicated, like MK Ultra level. They put them on some sort of roller coaster, shot them up in like a 2-3
Who
minute
is
ride,
they?
whatever. And then when they brought them, back down. It's like, how was your trip to space? And they're like, it was fun.
What's
Who
up,
was
Merle?
they, Crit?
Hey, Merle, what's going on? I ain't going to butt in here too much. I'll listen in because I'm on the road, but good to hear from you, Merle.
You too, Dallas, David. Double D.
Double D's.
You know I've been in here still wearing them out. We got a lot of new members, though. We've got some good flat earthers in out here now.
Jeremy, what if I paid for your donation for you to enter into that raffle for the same $2?
Sorry, there's no such thing as a good flat earther.
No, I don't need $2, thanks. I'm more interested in how much of the money of that $2 do they keep for administration fees?
From what I read,
All of it goes to St. Jude.
So no administration fees for this $2. It all goes to the kids.
It all goes to the research hospital. They're not
There
giving
will
money
be
to the kids.
administration.
Jeremy,
Information being provided about this little charity thing that they're doing.
Jeremy, I'm trying to understand this. So you're
It is
saying
minimum $10 gives you like a specific amount of
You're off
entries,
topic, for
and they go up and up and up.
Get him, Chemo.
When you guys are done, I have a very important question for this project.
Oh boy.
Oh, you have an important question. Nice.
So Jeremy, when we look at
What's
the
up?
moon looks round, yeah? Or does it look
Yeah.
flat?
It looks round. Well, it could be flat. I mean, it
No,
looks,
I don't mean. I mean what we see, like the clock. The curve. See that? Yeah, left to right.
There's a good
It's
flat
a
section
curve.
in the
It looks
bottom
like
right
it
there.
looks like a disc. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that if
Does it though?
So how high then would you say to look at the globe in that way? Do you have to be on the moon? How would you know when you're going around the moon or around? I'm trying to get what you mean.
Yeah. Well, if you went and saw the backside of the moon, that'd be
No.
pretty neat.
Just
but
going around it the way we see it. How would you know you're going around the moon, like around the clock?
like on the backside, like if I was orbiting the
Not
moon.
the backside, Jeremy. Just what we see. So you go from 12.
If I was just taking the path the moon took around us.
Jeremy, what he's trying to say,
Fucking hell.
at this distance, we're seeing almost half of the surface of the moon. We'll call it the half that's facing us. Then there's another half of the sphere, the other side. That much of it. How high would you have to be above Earth to see roughly half of the Earth, I think, is what Kibo's asking.
Yeah, how would Jeremy know when he's going around this circle or whatever? He's saying that you can never know.
Well, that's a different question.
What you could do also, you don't need to even go to space. Just wait for them to claim they put bases on the moon. Then you can look at the top and the bottom and see people upside down from each other. then it would be like,
With what
oh, my
telescope?
No, there's that.
with whatever telescope they have at the time. It's
There's that, but
whatever ones they have
saying,
now.
I'm saying to Jeremy, at what point, he's saying it's always looks curved as you go higher. So...
Yes.
So, again, if you're...
Chemo means like this. Look, I know it's really crude, but you mean like that, chemo, don't
Yes, just around like this. How high, Jeremy, would you have to be to know you're doing this around the moon? What would tell you? How would you know you're going around the moon like that?
I mean, I don't know if there is a height.
So you would never
We
know
know
if you're going around the moon like that. What Chris is
Well,
drawing.
as far as Earth goes, you might be able to tell if they do a north-south orbit. That might be able to tell you, but
How
if they
would you
don't do a
know though,
north-south
Jeremy?
orbit,
Jeremy, how would you know you've gone north-south?
I don't know if compasses work that high. You might be able to see Antarctica as a if you got far away enough to see Antarctica as a continent, that would probably do something. Other than that, I don't know if any height would even matter really. Me and Brandon did it. Demonstrated.
That's a great idea, Jeremy.
Me and Brandon demonstrated this thing though, where you come up off a flat surface, and if you could see the whole circle around you, once you come
this
up
is
off
weird,
of that,
though, Jeremy. I'm saying you go up and up and up and up and up. You're saying
Yeah.
you're seeing curvature.
the whole left to right curvature, I would expect to see that on a flat plane as you come up off it. Yes.
So you go all the way up. So you're saying eventually you're going to see the side of a country on one side and the side of a country on another side.
Sure.
On a flat plane.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Did you hear the thing when I explained the circle to you? You can see in a circle 360 degrees all around you if you spin around. So as you come up off of that, as you raise an elevation off of that circle, that starts to appear as being curved. Since it's a flat plane, but it's a circle. I would also expect the horizon to drop a little bit. Horizon dip. That's something else we expect on a flat Earth.
It's all about you guys change your mind.
I don't know what's funny.
Because you believe
it's expected,
flat Earth that looks
not
exactly
with
like
rationale. There's no reason
it's
to
rational.
think that. It's just expected.
It's
because
rational.
Jeremy
To,
says so.
no,
What's
it's
your
rational to
rationale?
expect that. If you
What's
come
your
up off the
rationale?
floor, if you come up off the floor, do you expect the floor to get lower or high, or stay the same level?
Let's do some geometry. How far can you see?
But SE, what if that window makes it? What if when you look out that window, it makes things curve?
Well, no,
You can go look at the
no
pictures
before
of the
liftoff,
flat
Jeremy, because
windows. They
they
are
will
flat.
have them film it on the tarmac, on whatever. You know what I mean?
So we'll be able to see. That's a good point. Good point. We can negate the window curvature if there is any. That's true.
Now that's very important. Will they have access to from beginning, from launch to orbit and
Well,
beyond?
hold on, SE. I
wanna
have
see
another.
that.
SE, I have
You
another
gotta sit
question.
down during the
What if
launch.
they're just SE? What if they're just playing a video thing that you think is a window?
They very well might be doing.
Good point.
Plenty of people in those.
Yeah, and then they're going to
Most
simulate
people
zero
have
gravity for
been there.
days
Yeah,
and
I'll say
days,
that.
right?
They're going to simulate zero gravity for days and days, right?
We're just at the beginning, Jake. We're just at the
Yeah.
beginning of tearing
You
this
can't
apart.
exclude things, and you're trying to figure something out, though.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
just
but
at the
right now,
beginning of
Jeremy, what
tearing
you're
this
doing is
to
excuses
pieces,
before it's
piece
even
by
gotten off
piece.
the ground.
Here,
Yeah.
to
And
get
somehow
rid of-
they're gonna simulate 2-3 G's sustained for 10 minutes.
to get rid of the
No,
video
but you
that
guys
they were in
agree it's
play.
important to have the video and the window access
The
from
video of what?
launch
The
to
screen?
space?
The video of the screen they're showing
Yeah.
you in the window, SE?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one step at a time. Let's get them to admit that at least. Let's let one don't
get
run
rid of
through
that.
it.
don't know what cameras they'll be allowed on board yet. That's as far as we can say for that.
Okay, but do you understand how important this is, right?
No, not really, but I imagine that there will be cameras. I imagine there will be screenshots taken. I imagine there will be lots of things that go on. It's not going to be like there's no documentation to this thing.
So when I asked you if it's important for the biggest expedition of one's lifetime, and I mentioned a film, you said not really, not important. Wow, really, dude?
Can you prove?
not
Can you prove that it is important?
I don't think it has the importance that you're laying on it, SE.
But where you live isn't important.
Yep.
Oh, let me
Yeah.
try one more time.
To be fair,
Hold on.
Essie's argument is kind of convincing.
Jeremy,
It's
what
his
about-
personal opinion that it's important, therefore we have to believe him. That is quite convincing, man.
And never once did I say it's not important. It's just not as important as he's making it seem. It's not like it's going to go undocumented. If it wasn't for SC's objection, they wouldn't go without having any sort of camera documentation.
Jeremy, what about if they were
anyone
to
who's in the
use
United States, you have until the end of the month to submit your 100,000 entries. That's the each like little thing you do is 100 entries minimum, and you can submit up to 100,000 entries. Like there's no time limit or anything, but you could do it like within the same day or something like that. But the point is, it ends end of February.
Chemo,
Do
you
we
can
know
demonstrate.
what vehicle they're using?
And there's only one person, by the way. Chronic, what he said about the stuff, it was wrong. There's literally only one person who will get
From
to do
this
it.
method
from
of
St.
choosing
Jude.
someone.
From St. Jude donation, there's one. Then there's
There's
another
only
one.
one person
Then
for this
there-
contest, period. The other
then
two people
there is
are
another one.
Or
Then
from
the
there
other
different
two
is
people.
contests.
There
Hold
is
up. There's
another
four people
contest.
contest. I mean, there's 4 people flight thing. One
Has
is
already
the
been chosen.
the Jared
One is from
dude.
this contest.
One is from a contest. One is an employee of St. Jude's, like a medical employee from the hospital, and the other one is a business owner that uses Jared's company.
That shares a story.
So the
on
only one you
Twitter.
can win is this raffle thing it's only available for one person.
Jeremy, this is your moment. You need to become a janitor at St. Jude's. I bet the pay is better and the cost of living is better.
This is
And then they
your
just fix
moment.
it. Hold on,
Brian,
let me talk to
Dr. Brian.
Chemo.
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, I put in
Chemo,
15
you can do
bucks.
that. Never mind.
Pediatrician.
Jeremy,
Yeah, but you could
what
make this
about
is
one
a
of
chance
those?
to get to space. This
What
is
if
a once in a lifetime opportunity.
what if they
I
would
entered the raffle. I'm
disable
not a pediatrician. I don't have time to become one in time.
You could do 2 at the time. You could do 2 entries.
Put your money
What
where
part,
it is.
what part of I am not a pediatrician did you not understand?
The part where you seem to not care about space.
Part where I'm not eligible
There
to
you
have a
go,
position?
Crit. You're not
It's
caring
probably the
about
part you're
space.
missing.
Chemo, you can demonstrate this yourself. If you have a set of dominoes or Legos or any object, if you have a bunch of them that are all the same height, and then you have any kind of relatively flat surface, you just go make a radius in the middle, go out X amount of feet, whatever. You could do this in inches. I did it in a hula hoop and over a few feet. So you make a circle around you from a center point of these objects. The tops of those objects are stimulating your line of sight. That's how far you can see.
Oh,
now
I know
now
what you're doing,
raise
Jeremy.
up.
You're limiting your horizon. You're not making the hula hoop bigger when you're raising in altitude. As we see in reality, your horizon gets farther as you raise in altitude. You're limiting your horizon to a fixed distance regardless of your altitude. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're not changing the circle as we go up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why would you
of
do
course.
something silly like that?
Why would you do something that reflects reality? Why would you do that?
Yo, check it. More information on this contest. So each potential winner is subject to verification by administrator. Administrator's decisions are final and binding in all matters related to the administration, operation, selection of the potential winner, and other matters related to the sweepstakes. And then it says right here, the potential winners, in the event the potential winners fails to, let's see, where is it? Give me a second. In the event that the potential winner fails to pass the background check in administrator's discretion, the potential winner shall be disqualified from the sweepstakes.
So they can basically pick anyone they want. Pretty
No,
much.
it's fairly
Winner may
standard
be
T's
randomly
and
selected
C's
at
that stop them
administrator's sole
sending someone that's
discretion.
mentally unstable into a dangerous environment.
Or like a 90-year-old who happens to win and their body is not fit for that type of travel. What's the problem?
Or somebody with one eye.
Oh, and right here too. Potential winner may be required to complete and return an affidavit of declaration of eligibility, release of liability, and/or publicity release in the forms provided by the administrator.
And
no surprises
So
there.
publicity release, basically, you'll probably be made to sign like an NDA or something like that.
No, that's fairly normal.
Percentage
normal
healthy
to disclose a
skepticism.
it's normal to make someone sign a non-disclosure agreement.
No one said NDA except for him.
Well, Jeremy, there's normally going to be a partial NDA with stuff like that anyway about controlling press releases or whatever. That's again fairly normal depending on the type of competition. But you haven't looked
So
at the
they're gonna
NDA
limit-
to see what it. You haven't looked at the non-disclosure to see what it actually covers.
Where is it?
I don't know. Go and read it. But you're making
Where is
judgment calls on it before you've read it. I don't know.
Where is it? I don't know.
Go
Percentage,
for it,
he's
Jeremy.
the one bringing it up, bro.
Where's the NDA percentage?
Yo, I'm sorry, I have to kind of interrupt the conversation, but yo, triangles, why are you not talking or having a real discussion? You're just spamming beings. Like, are you a coward or what?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. He's triggered. Yeah, he got triggered from text chat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You're
you got
triggered.
triggered. Oh, the trigger.
You've been so triggered lately.
You got fucking triggered. Look at this.
He's really badly triggered. I
I
don't know. what's
know. Look how easy it is to trigger snowflakes.
He needs to go see a psychiatrist or something.
Little baby got triggered. Outstanding.
It's like
Do you
Laurel
need
and Hardy.
something? What's wrong with you?
It's just interesting that Crip puts everything up
So,
like this.
so
It's just really
just to make a point, let's ask a question, and this is a rhetorical one. You don't need to actually answer. Which one of us? Plus, David, you're getting triggered. Can you sit there? Hold on. I was actually talking, so I'm actually putting you on low volume because I was talking, Dave. So shut the hell up. So, a rhetorical question: which one of us was more triggered, crying wolf or me? Like he seemed to get really shouty, so I would say that's triggered.
All right, let's gain some control here. Come on, guys.
Here, as far as
Fuck
this,
off, Jeremy.
as far as this inspiration flight and experience, I think I've seen 3 globe earthers now enter the contest to attempt to win. Are any flat earthers going to put their name in it? Put your money where your mouth is. You're so convinced. Put $10 down and try to go up.
Chemo for space.
I'm not getting involved
Yeah,
in this
no
money
way,
making
dude.
scheme.
Are you nuts?
Jeremy's already broke up.
The same reason why I didn't do the ice bucket challenge.
Jeremy,
would,
Jeremy, if you took, let's say for example, you took a gyroscope, would that tell you if you're going around curvature?
I mean, if you're going to believe the gyroscope, we got Bob Nodell.
No, I'm saying.
Jeremy, why do you think the money is not going to St. Jude? I haven't figured that out yet. Why do you think it's a money grab by this company?
Well,
that's what he thinks every company does.
Jeremy, you
I was
said
asking
we've
how-
got Jeremy. If you believe the gyroscope, we've got Bob Nodell. Bob Nodell detected a 15-degree-per-hour drift. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, Chemo asked if we brought a gyroscope, would we be able?
Yeah,
to
one
tell?
of those.
Right,
not
but
what
then you
Bob
brought up
used.
Bob Nodell as if Bob Nodell didn't find anything with his gyroscope.
No, not Bob.
Well, I was
no,
telling
not Bob's
Chemo.
gyroscope.
I was telling.
There's another type of
I was telling
gyroscope.
Chemo.
No, I think
Don't
you
they
just
all
fucked
get
up,
to-
Jeremy, is all. You thought, yeah, Bob Nodell did the gyroscope thing, and, you know, Bob Nodell's a flat earther, and I've heard about Bob Nodell and the gyroscope, right? And then you said, if you're going
Chris,
to believe the
just
gyroscope,
shut up.
as if
You don't
it's
even know what
something
you're
to
talking
believe.
about, bro.
You fucking
just
know
shut
exactly
up.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Just shut up.
You said if you're going to believe the gyroscope, Bob Nodell got one, then you realised Bob Nodell detected a 15-degree-hour drift on it.
Hemo asked if we could bring a gyroscope up to tell. I told him if you believe what the gyroscope says, we don't even need to go up because Bob Nodell already did it here on Earth.
Aye, right.
Talking about, you're an idiot. I don't know why you jump into conversations that you have no idea what's going on.
Jeremy, my God.
Oh, here comes Stone. Another. You and
I
Stone.
know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
I want to hear Chris, Stone, and Branch have a three-way debate.
Hey,
I'm glad you went that way. That was really starting to worry me.
I need to read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
So just to make it clear, there's an opportunity, seemingly obvious and real, with no evil intention, seemingly right now, that no flat earther is going to put their name up, put in $10 to experience this. Just making that clear, right? No flat earthers about to do this.
I don't think it's going to be able to tell you anything. How do we differentiate if we're doing a circle over a flat Earth or an orbit around a globe?
Well, because on one, the horizon would be flat.
Nope.
Right.
Wrong.
With one, wrong. One, you have to have the correct premises. Two, you have to understand physics and observations.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me how we differentiate between doing circles over a flat Earth? Are they going to do north-south orbits?
Yeah, they'll do whatever they want. So the way that you differentiate.
Are they going to do a north-south orbit? Sorry.
The way that you differentiate.
Yeah, they're going to do whatever they want. Isn't really a reasonable answer for that. Are they going to do a north-south orbit or
Let him
not?
answer a question.
The way
I asked
that
him
you
a question and he's not
You won't
answering.
shut
He said,
up.
yeah, they're going to.
You won't shut up,
yeah, they're going to
Jeremy.
do whatever they want.
You asked two things. The first thing you asked was how do you differentiate the circle around the flat Earth and the sphere Earth. What I'm saying is to that is the difference will be when you're on either shape of the Earth. When you increase in altitude, the flat Earth will not curve. You will just simply see. I would love to answer it without you interrupting because you're wrong,
already
and
wrong.
I'm explaining why you're wrong.
Continue with your wrong statement. Go ahead.
So when you're on a flat Earth and you increase in elevation, the horizon will not curve. You would just see farther. You would just see farther. The horizon will expand, which is why I pointed out. Which is why I pointed out in your observation using a hula hoop with a fixed distance. Yes, you're going to see the shape of that circle quite clearly. But what you're not accounting for is seeing further because you're increasing in elevation, which would happen
And eventually
on a sphere, and you will
so
have
you
that
think you
curvature
can see forever
without seeing farther than that curvature.
All right, so you think you can see forever then, and there's no such thing as light attenuation or refraction or anything?
I think you say those words because they're big and they're commonly used.
Is
but I
that
don't
you?
think
Do you believe in a
understand
light
those words.
attenuation? Do you believe in the attenuation of light, sir?
I think that
Or minimum
those are
resolvable
irrelevant.
detail.
Those are irrelevant because
yeah.
you don't have to see detail to see the edge of the Earth if it's flat.
So you do think we can see forever, and there's no such thing as light attenuation or an
Jeremy, if
angular
it was light
adjustment in size
attenuation,
or distance?
it would be fading into irresolvability, not suddenly disappearing bottom up with definition.
Because you're a
Stop
flat
with that.
earthologist. Because you're a
You will
flat
lose.
earthologist, and you know how everything works on a flat Earth.
You're not getting light attenuation. You're bound by the rules of what light attenuation says.
What you will lose is clarity. That's all. You won't lose an object. You won't lose the horizon. You will lose clarity. That's it.
How about your negative angle of view, which puts an obstruction in front of you because of the Earth below your eye line that obstructs in the distance because of the distance of the negative angle of view Earth that's in front of you? Explain that away real quick for me.
Yeah, explain that.
I'm going to need you to make a coherent sentence, and then I'll address it.
I want to hear
Yeah.
Jeremy go wow, wow, wow more. That's really funny.
Can't explain that.
I can't explain an incoherent statement. You're correct. Yes.
Do you want me to explain it to you again?
I would like for you to form that into a coherent statement, and then I will address it. No problem.
If you look out in front of you, no matter where you're at, there's land or water below your feet if you're standing on the Earth, right?
Yo, how would you... Hold on. Oh, my bad, Dave. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
No, so I was just going to say, so that land that's in front of you, it would be your negative angle of view because you can't see through that solid object or water, correct? So the further in front of you that this negative angle of view is the more land or water in front of you, which would obstruct anything in your distance in the distance from you. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think I know what you're saying, and if it's not at the horizon, if it's before the horizon, you will always see that object because it is above an object that's below your eye level. So you're going to see that object, then the ground or water behind it, until you get to the horizon, and then because of the curve of the Earth, it'll dip down in a way where the water is now in front of it, with respect to your line of sight.
So you're
Here,
saying
let me
that.
just
So let me just say one more thing. So the things that are in your positive angle of view you can see, and things that are in your negative angle of view you cannot see. Do we agree to that?
I don't know what you mean by that. I think what you're saying is, are you saying that the quote unquote negative angle is below your eye level and the positive quote unquote positive angle is above your eye level? Is that how you're differentiating that?
So it would be anything at your eye level or above would be your positive angle of view, and anything at your eye line or below would be your negative angle of view.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't use those terms, but I understand what you're saying. It would only depend on the distance, and then that's when the Earth curvature will come into play to obstruct or be in the way of your line of sight from bottom up.
So basically, the horizon is where your negative angle of view ends and the curvature Earth begins, right?
No, false, because the horizon,
What do you mean,
the horizon.
That's the limit of my negative angle of view in front of me because of the distance of my eye line. Things in my eye line or below now are in the distance so far that anything beyond that negative angle of view I can't see. I can only see a positive thing. It's like if I see something, a tower in the distance, it's going to be in my positive angle of view so I can see it.
Not always.
All right,
because
real
the
quick.
horizon is always below your eye level. So in your terms that you're using, the horizon 100% of the time will be a negative angle.
Okay, real quick. We're talking about all this, if the Earth, if it looks curved or not. This whole time, I'm guessing these people are going to be looking through a window that's supposedly looking outside at the Earth. How do we know they're not actually looking at a screen?
Oh, I was going to address that. So what we can do,
All right.
if I get picked and I'm approved and I go through the process, I'll get you a plane ticket and you come down to the launch, and I want you to be there and give me the middle finger with both fingers, and then I'm going to record it and I'll show you that it's live looking through a window, not a screen.
All right. All right. How do you know that there's not just a camera recording what's actually happening on the outside, and then they switch it
Oh
over
my God.
once you get real hot? Oh my God, he's ruining.
Keep moving the goalposts,
He's ruining
Jeremy.
my argument. Oh my God.
Well, if
No,
you
no,
can't,
well, because you have no limit of the ridiculous shit that you will say.
all right, so if you can't tell the difference between a window and a screen, that's your problem, not ours.
Jeremy, what if when I'm sleeping, like the night before, I'm probably going to be in a hotel or a place that they put me at. What if while I'm sleeping, they put contacts on my eyeballs, and those are really screens, and they're projecting whatever they want me to
That's
see.
a little far fetched. That's a little far fetched.
That's the point that I'm making. That it's a little far fetched for what you're claiming.
It's not
and what
far
you're saying.
fetched that if you were trying to trick someone, you could put a screen in place of a window and have them be viewing something that's not really there.
Yeah, well, Jeremy,
it's not far fetched at all.
Jeremy,
there's
can
a
you
thing
actually
that
tell
screens have that Windows don't? They're called pixels.
Jeremy,
Okay.
can you actually tell the difference between a window and a TV?
You might not know if you're going into this new place that you don't even know what it's
Can you tell the
supposed to
difference?
look like
Can
or
you tell the difference
anything.
between a
So
window and
I was almost done, but okay.
I'm
What?
asking you, yes or no? Can you tell the difference?
Well, it depends. If we're in a new place that you don't even know what it's supposed to look like, I mean,
Jeremy,
I
there's
think I
another
would
thing.
be able.
There's another thing that Windows have that
I don't know.
you
I don't
can't
ever need
experience,
to finish a
unfortunately.
sentence.
It's called
fine.
depth
It's fine.
perception.
I literally never need to finish a sentence. It's not necessary.
Because you're not
You
answering the
don't.
question.
You're
You're just rambling.
You
You're
don't.
not making any actual
You're right
points.
about that.
I know. Why would you even talk
Windows
to me then if you're not
Windows
going
have
to
a lack of pixels and depth perception.
Who's holding the competition?
Competition?
Yeah, who's holding the competition? What's the company?
It's not really a competition.
Well, what's the company? Is it SpaceX?
SpaceX.
Yeah, it's
Right,
Elon Musk, man. Call him out.
They're the company who's trying to privatize space.
Private.
They're not trying to privatize space. They just
Nigga said privatize space.
So if you want to go into space, you have to get on a SpaceX aircraft.
No, you don't. No, you don't. There's plenty. No, there's plenty of other. There's plenty of other companies and space programs other than SpaceX.
Boeing is
NASA,
trying one. Blue Origin is
NASA,
pretty close.
You could go get
The word
dirt
you're
by
looking
Virgin,
for is
by Virgin
increased commercialization.
Atlantic if you
Yes.
want. They'll happily steal your money.
So
Virgin
NASA
Atlantic. There's
still
a bunch of companies.
can use
There's a
their
bunch
stuff.
of companies that'll just take your money and never do anything for you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, they have, and we've already been through the list of things that NASA has helped the general population with things. But anyway, so Merle, there's plenty of other space programs, and NASA just recently started using SpaceX's Stage 1 rocket. That's all they've been using.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's all they've been using? Wow.
Yeah, from SpaceX, they're using their
Has
That's
NASA,
cool.
has
That's
NASA
cool,
come-
Pure.
Has NASA come out with a fuelless generator yet?
Fuck off, Dave.
I mean, there are solar panels, wind turbines, water turbines.
The fire retardant clothing and materials, they've helped revolutionize that.
How about paint? You remember, the NASA, the cool paint.
So, well, nobody cares about that. So things that actually are used by just the general population, the FR gear, and the suits that firefighters use, they've helped innovate that. So there's real world things that NASA has helped develop and developed on their own.
No doubt.
The CGI industry.
Shit, you give me $50 million a day, I'll come up with some cool stuff eventually too.
They have like 20,000 employees. Dude.
Yeah. I'll come up with a whole bunch of cool shit for $50 million a day.
Man.
All these
I'll
years
have
of
a whole
CGI
staff.
and not one whistleblower, not one document, not one deathbed confession, not one leak, not one anything, not one person on Reddit that signed on to an anonymous Wi-Fi driving around a neighborhood and posted in there some info. Not one person. Documents could easily leak this.
I just talked to an 80-year-old man who said his daddy was a flat earther and he died in 1965. So what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Dave has no idea what he's talking about.
I have a whistleblower. I just talked to an
Okay,
80-year-old man.
so dumb runs in the family.
No, you didn't, Dave.
Fuck it.
I was listening to y'all on my phone in the grocery store. He said, "What are you listening to?" I said, "They're arguing about the shape of the Earth." And he said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Whether it's flat or round." And he said, "Yeah, my daddy thought it was round." And I said, "Well, what year did he die?" He said, 1965, or thought it was flat.
Sure, you did, Dave.
Yeah,
you got
get
the
Alzheimer's and stuff towards the end of their years.
So I've got all the way back to 1965. We've got proof.
No,
of the
you
flat.
don't.
Yeah, because everyone
Even if that's true, that's not a whistleblower. That's just some guy.
Because everyone in grocery stores just go up and ask, "Oh, what are you listening to?"
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody clapped.
His dad would have had to have been in World War II. So I didn't ask him that, but I would assume that he was.
Didn't have to be.
I think he was like a I don't know, way up.
It's
in the
not
middle.
pronounced dad, okay? It's pronounced pappy.
He was like a general or something.
Yeah, sure he was, Dave.
General or something.
Yeah, he was a general or something. He had to be in World War II. He had to be a general or something.
All right, I got a question real quick, and then I'll be quiet. Trump has been missing and not been seen since the inauguration. He has not been seen live or photographed since he left. So